I'll start recording. So let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. So please let me know once my screen is visible for you all. Okay, cool. So far you guys have shown the demo of like how we can read the data, how we can extract some basic information uh, from the data, and as well as how to create your own data by using a Spark methods. So now, today I'm going to teach you on aggregation of data frames and as well as manipulation of data in Spark data frames. Okay, so let's dig in to this aggregation of data frame in Python. So for this, I'm going to use one small data set that is actually Airbnb dataset for that. So agenda of this aggregation of data frame lecturing is that group by, pivot, aggregation methods, combos of each, combinations of each actually. So what it means, group by. So as you guys have already know about this, because in Python data frame, in Pandas data frame, you already used it. So group by method is same as Python. Like how you guys have used in Python, in the same way here also you can use it. But with those little changes. And pivot table. Pivot table is nothing but a two-way table. And aggregation methods, like what are the aggregation methods, like sum, minimum, maximum, percentiles. What are the aggregation methods? And combinations of each. How we can do the pivot table, group by, and aggregations together. Okay, so I'm going to teach all these things, and you guys get to know that like what is the importance of that and how we can do it if we are using Spark data frame. And I have already shared this notebook with you guys. Okay, if you were running on the local, run this notebook as it is and explore the methods. But if you guys are running this notebook on Databricks, how you can use it? So for that, you can just go to workspace and click on this three dots and click on this import button, and next followed by browser. Here you can select which notebook which you like, where you have saved, where you have downloaded. You can just select it and open it and upload it. That's it. Okay, so we will get this notebook in this Databricks environment. After that, next other thing is just go to that notebook. Our regular method is to create compute. Okay, first create and attach. Then create a new resource, rename it. I'll just rename it as an egg, and I'm creating that. You guys should wait another 2 minutes to open that. Once it is started, so you can, if you are running on Databricks notebook, you can skip this cell of execution. Then reading the data frame. So Spark, anyhow, it is configured here only with this cluster. So you no need to create the Spark again. So you can just directly call this Spark dot read if it is in local. Okay, so if you have saved the data frames in dataset slash the file name, and you can provide the arguments which we are already discussed. Spark.read.csv, these are the CSV files, and read it. But if it is in Databricks notebook, that is DBFS location, that is data frame data base location. That is actually shared database. So in that case, how we can read the data? So for that, you need to upload the data into DBFS. How we can upload it? Click on new and go to table. Then here you can select the data set. I need NYC Airbnb data. So I'm uploading it. This is actually a small data set, like having size is 7.1 MB. Okay, it's done. So now file is uploaded to this location. So let's try this location. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just selecting that path to just to see the data, but this cluster is still not created. Need to wait for the cluster to create. Yep, it's created now. So now I'm going to preview this data. So here you guys can see the data, it's loading. Or otherwise, you can click on this, create a table in Notebook. You will get the complete code, like how we can read the data frame and all. Okay, so here you can see the whatever the file name I copied and the file size and everything. Okay. Yes. So by using SQL query. So by using SQL query also, so if you click on that create a notebook with this data, you will get this code very easily. Okay, by using SQL method, like how we can read the data, by using like, yeah, by using read format, how we can read this data. Okay, so here we are provided all the arguments with the option load the file location as well. Okay, this is how you can see this data. Just I'm going to copy this code, going back to the notebook. I'm just pasting that path here and I'm copy the same. Just I will change this path. Let's wait. Yes. So we have successfully uploaded the data and read the data easily. So before going into any aggregation function, let's see some information about this data. This data set describes the listing activity and matrices for Airbnb bookers in NYC. NY for 2019. Each line in the data set is booking. So Airbnb, I think you guys have already known that it's a number one, what you can say, boarding plot, like lodging and boarding platform, like you can book it, right? So let's go ahead and view the first view lines of the data frame, how it looks. Okay, so this is a big data frame. If you you can maybe instead of going with an two pandas, you can also go with Airbnb dot display. You will get a nice view of your data frame. What happened? Yeah. So here you can see it's a table. You can see this data frame in a table format. This display anyhow only available in Databricks, not in if you are running in local, it will not, it won't works. Okay, so here you can see if you want to sort it, you can that sort also. You can click on the three dots and you can just say if you want to do the filtering or if you want to pin the column, so you can easily do that. Okay, so the next one is, so this is how the data looks. ID column, name, host ID, host name, neighborhood groups, and many more. Okay, so how we can do some aggregation by using these informations. Okay, so let's see that schema. So here you can see like how we can print the schema and what are the columns, what are the data types of that. So here you can see this is the ID column and this the type is string and nullable. It's accepting the null values as well. So in the same way, you can easily understand that column name, data type, and whether these columns are accepting nulls or not. Okay, then here, notice here that some of the columns that are obviously numeric has been incorrectly identified as string. Let's edit that, otherwise cannot aggregate any of the numerical columns. So here you can see aggregation means it's a mathematical functions, right? So if you want to do any mathematical operations, the column should be what I can say, the column should be numerical. Like, but here in this case, we have numerical, everything, all the columns show it as in a strings. Here you can see how we can take the aggregation. But here, honestly, we have numerical columns, but wrongly assigned this as an strings. Then how we can change the data type of that? After changing the data type, you guys can easily do the aggregation for the numerical columns. How we can do that? So you need to change the data type of that. How we can change it? I already explained how we can cast it. Casting, okay. So now I'm just imported the library like PySpark.sql.types. Import all the types in this SQL types. Let's say struct type, string type, integer type, boolean type, everything I just imported with the star. Star means all. So, and as well as functions. So all the PySpark function, all the SQL PySpark functions I'm importing in this on this notebook with using star. So let's execute it. Done. Now in Python way, how we did it. So this is how we did it. Like you can see Airbnb, this is the price column. Price column is actually a numerical column, but here it is wrongly assigned it as a string. Then what we are doing? So we are just assigning that, overwriting that column with changing the type as int. This is the Python way, correct? Now, how we can do it in PySpark? So in the same way, to overwrite the column, which function we should use here? We should use a with column function. So Airbnb dot with column. So here is the column name, that is price, comma Airbnb. So I'm just, so this step. So this is the overwriting step is become with column. Now Airbnb, this is the Airbnb price and casting it to integer type. So here we are using as type as int. So this step is nothing but this thing. Okay, Airbnb price dot casting that has an integer type. I'm just overwriting this price column with changing the integer type of price column. So this is how you can change the data type of the particular column. So now once it is done, you can see the what you can say data type of that column. Now it is integer. In the same way, we should do the same thing for multiple columns. How we can do that? So one single line, you can easily do that. So by using dot with column, overwriting this price, again this is slash is nothing but it's allowing you to go to the next line instead of in single line you can use it. So it's just in a line breaker. Okay, by using dot with column, minimum nights, do this, a number of views, convert into integer, reviews per month, convert it into integer, calculate in the host list, just convert it into integer. Once this is done, you can just check the data type of that, because usually this column should be integer, but it is wrongly assigned it as a string, whatever the reason it could be. Okay, so once this is done, now you guys can just observe the data type of those. So here you can see minimum nights as integer, reviews per month is also integer, you should have price is also integer, number of reviews, number it's numerical, so it's also integer. Once it is done, so now we will get start with the group by and aggregation of that. So very firstly, so how we can do the, what are the aggregation methods? So here it is purely like how we did it in Python. It's the same thing. It's the same procedure and it's the same way of doing it. Okay. Then aggregation function, we have so many aggregation function. We can go through with that. Anyhow, I have shared this notebook. Maybe you can take a look into this text. That will give some theoretical understanding of what we are doing here. What I'm explaining now. Okay. Then group by. Let's go to that. So here you can see the same thing. It's nothing changed. Okay. It's changed. Okay. I just overwrite it with the name of df, so I can use df. Okay, so df dot group by. In Python also it's same. Df dot group by we are calling and the column name. We are calling only single column. Neighborhood groups dot. How many neighborhood groups we have? Let's say neighborhood. Let's say we have a neighborhood values are A, B, C. How many A's are there? How many B are there? How many C's are there? So that's why we are using the count here. Means it's just taking a unique value, like grouping, like group by is nothing but it's just taking the unique values of that particular column and just grouping what are the elements should comes under A group, B group and C group. So here it is also doing the same thing. So here we have the Queens, Nadia, Midtown. These are the neighborhood groups we have. How many times is that those are repeated? So how many values, like how many quantity you can say quantity we have in that particular group. These are the groups, neighborhood groups we have. Just it is showing only 20. We have many more. You can also use some, minimum, maximum. Okay, I'll just use maximum for now. It's not showing correctly. Let's go to yeah. So these are the groups with the numerical columns. It is I'm just showing. Okay, price is a numerical column. So maximum price and maximum minimum nights and my number of views for this particular groups. Okay, so in this Queens, okay, maximum price is 10,000. Maximum minimum night is 500. Maximum number of reviews are 629. So like that, just a second. Okay, so this is how you can check the maximum value for that particular group in each and every numerical columns, only in the numerical columns. Okay, see here. This is how it works. So if you want to know the minimum, if you want to know the minimum values for that particular group, you can also use minimum values and sum of that particular group, or that also you can do that, or you can also use count. This is same as Python. There is no change in that. Is that clear? So far so clear? Okay. Now, so other thing is, here you can just see, we can also use some functions, group by functions. So group by neighborhood, if you want to know the mean of that particular back column, like price. So here it is taking a maximum of, of all the columns, right? So instead of that, you can easily use mean, median, mode, or whatever it is for particular column. You can also see that. Okay, so here you can see mean is nothing but it's automatically assigning some values, some name for that column, that is average of this price column for that each group. This is the mean value for each group neighbor. These are the groups, each values. Okay, and we have other on these date dot alias, and you can give the name instead of using this average price. If you want to use average price, can just execute now. Why it's not what actually need to change? It should change. Alias should change the name of this column, but it is not doing it. Stop. Here it is working. Maybe it's only doing in the aggregation function, but now it's not doing it over here. Okay, let's leave it. So this is how you can just extract the statistic, like aggregation function for that each column. So now, so the same thing you also can do it by using arg function. So okay, so df.group by that column arg. So in this function, you can just provide the dictionary that what is the column name as a key, and you can mention the aggregation function as a value. So you can use a column and its aggregation function. It's doing the same job. In this way also you can do it by passing the dictionary. Okay. Now, how we can do it, like with the complex logics? Okay. So let's import the function that is f. So I'm just doing aggregation of this one. I'm calling this function aggregation function. So we have minimum, maximum, mode for all these things, right? So I'm calling that f. These are the PySpark function. F dot minimum of this column, and name it as a minimum price. Alias, name it as a minimum price. That's the first one. Second one, maximum of this price as a maximum price, and sum of that sum of this price as a total price. and I'm executing it as a show. So here you can see these are the groups. For that each and particular group, we have minimum price, maximum price, and total price. So the minimum value in this group, in this category, maximum price in this category, and total price in this category. In this way, you can extract the multiple aggregation function together. Multiple aggregation function together. Is that clear? This is the same function without using f. Okay, without using f also you can import minimum, maximum, and sum as well. But I just used f dot minimum, f dot maximum just to import only required library into my workspace. Okay, it's done. Next, this is how you can extract the some basic statistics for that integer column. So to the same thing, we have another method, another function that is summary. So you can call df.summary. Inside of summary, you can provide all the aggregation methods like count, minimum, maximum, 25th percentile, 75th percentile. Okay, and if you want to see that, you can just convert into two pandas, or you can still use display function to see this. Okay, these are the functions, summary functions, and each and every column summary. These are summary functions. Also, you can use it to extract the basic information, basic statistics of that. And as I already mentioned that like how we can select some particular column and extract the summary out of that. So you can just go df.select and set column name, price, minimum nights, number of nights, and the summary you need if you want only the summary of count, minimum, and maximum. This is how it works. You can also use the summary method by using selecting the columns. But in Python, you guys can directly go with an idea of price, minimum night number of nights, and describability, right? But here we need to use dot select and the column names. So far, so clear? Okay, cool. So then aggregation on entire data frame without groups. What do you mean by without groups and all? Let's see. So without a group by also, you can do that. How? So you can directly use df.arg function and you can call minimum of df.price and make it as a minimum price, maximum price, and these things. Okay. Like without any aggregation function, it's not going to grouping any of things. It's a total one. It's considering all the groups. In all the groups, which one is in a maximum price, which one is in a minimum price that it is showing. Okay, so without aggregation also you can do that. Okay, or you can just select unique values df.select count distincts. This is also the function count distinct. Count distinct is nothing but a unique value, counting that unique values. Yeah, which for which column with this column, and alias is as a count d. How many unique values you have? So first column you need to select it as an count district of this column, name it as an count d. That is 77 distinct values, like unique values, unique groups we have, and comma average price. What is the average price? And what is the standard deviation? Standard price, standard deviation of the price. That also you can do that. This is how you can also extract the distinct values of that particular column. Okay. This is how you can extract without group by. You can also extract some information of that. And these are the many examples on the same for the group by. That's all about the group. Okay, in real-time data processing, the processes will be the same. Yes, exactly the same. So in real time also you can use the same functions to group by the columns, or if you want to extract some meaningful informations um to your organization, so you can do the same thing. Okay, cool. Then, so this is actually a real world data only. This is Airbnb, original Airbnb data. Okay, so next, after the group by we have pivot table. Pivot table is nothing but it's just in a two-way table. Okay, so it's just extracting that aggregation in a two-way table with columns and rows. Okay, so let's see how it works and how it looks. Okay, so we have in a room type. Okay, we have a room type. What is the type of the rooms and all? So we can call this pivot method directly. Okay, so our neighborhood groups and queens and broccoli. So in the neighborhood groups, I'm just only taking two categories, two groups, that is queen and broccoli. Okay, so we need to create a two-way table for this, like how many room type we have in this particular two groups. This is the column. These are the values, list of values we need to count it. So this is a count function which we are using. Okay. So shared room. So we don't have any room types in Queens and Berkeley in 51, 205, 54 and all. Only in the shared room we have Queens and Berkeley. That is 413 and 198 in this shared type. And this is how the pivot table works. Okay, so let's filter. Like along with this one, we can also see like how we can filter the data frame. So df dot filter, we have filter function. So inside of the filter function, you can just provide room type is equals to only shared room. Only shared room. Next, group by within a room type, pivot table, pivoting the table with this group of two values. Queens and broccoli is the values in the neighborhood groups and counting it. Now it is showing only one row. See, shared room. Queens count is 198. Broccoli count is 1413. Okay, this is how pivot table works. It is just bringing the values, columns, and group by together. So that's why we call it as a two-way table. Okay. Combining all these three together, like group by, aggregation, and pivot table. How we can do that? Very firstly, so you can see df that group by, it's neighborhood groups dot pivot table, and in the pivot table I'm just taking this queens and broccoli and aggregation with the same this one aggregation of minimum price, maximum price. So group by, pivot table, and aggregation. I'm just doing all together here. Okay, so you can see this is the on this you can easily see that like neighborhood groups, like only it is showing the count, only it is showing the minimum price and maximum price for this only queens and broccoli. Okay, so we can see in the corona we have queens minimum price is 23, queens maximum price is 359. Broccoli minimum price is no, here we don't have any broccoli in corona. Okay, but milk basin we have broccoli that is 85 and 299. So this is how we can do all these three together. Okay, great. So you guys have learned so how we can do the group by, aggregation, pivot table, and like how we can do all together. So based on your use cases based on your challenging situation. You can use these methods to crack to find the solution for the problem statements. Is everything clear on this? Okay, cool. I think you guys already have this notebook, I think, in your local. Start executing on this function and play with this multiple aggregation function, get few errors and try to solve those errors, do some research for the use cases, like, and do solve the use cases by your own, so that you could be perfect on this PySpark coding. Because aggregation and so only three methods, let's three what I can say, three approaches things. Okay, so first one is aggregation group by whatever you guys have learned today. Very firstly, how we can read the data, that's the first one. After reading the data, how we can extract the basic information of the data. Third one is how we can do that group by aggregation and how we can extract the basic statistics out of that. And the next thing is how we can manipulate the data, let's say writing the data and changing the values and changing the data types and all these things. Okay, this is the another one. And the fifth one is how we can do the joining the multiple data frames. So these are the most important data processing things which you should learn in PySpark. In data engineering only, we guys are doing the same things: joining, aggregation, and then selecting the columns, cleaning with some basic cleaning. That's it. Other than that, we are not doing anything. So that's why. So this group, whatever I explained today, this is also most important part. You can just start exploring the same. Okay. Cool. So I just need only another 2 classes to finish up and wrap up this PySpark one. So I'm just left with a concept of joining, how we can join the multiple data frames within a different approach. Let's say we have right join, we have left join, outer join, inner join, full outer join, full. So these joins, I wanted to explain how we can do this. Anyhow, joining concept you guys have already know. It's a known concept. In Python, how we did it in Python, but here the same joins, how we can do it in a different way. Different means a PySpark way, how we can do it. So if you guys have already know the joins, if we do the left join, what happened? If we do the right join, what happened? In Python, it's just to execute the same thing in PySpark, so that it could not take any much time on that. So that is the only thing. Other than that, another concept is just manipulating the data, how we can manipulate the data and done, but it needs some time to explain, so that I'm just taking a pause for today. So tomorrow in one stretch, I'll complete this manipulation of the data and I'll try to complete the joining, so that I'm just going, so we are completing the PySpark sessions. So I'll just take another class for just to wrap up and brief about the PySpark things. Okay, so once it is done, so once this is done, so you guys are going to learn the Tableau for a few days. So after the Tableau, we are wrap up this batch. Okay, cool. Then thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience and have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.